University Challenge. Asking the questions, Amol Rajan.
Hello and welcome to another match in round one of this year's University Challenge. Both the institutions represented tonight are from the plate glass generation, those universities founded from scratch in the 1960s to help meet the recommendations of the Robbins Report that university places should be available to all who are qualified for them by ability and attainment. The University of Warwick has won this competition twice in the past, in 2007 and 2021, and its most recent team were unlucky last series not to go further than the second round. The university was established in 1965 through the joint efforts of Coventry City Council and Warwickshire County Council, and under its first Vice-Chancellor, Lord Butterworth, was a pioneer in developing links between higher education and industry. Notable alumni include the journalist Yomi Adegoke, the actor Ruth Jones and the mathematician Ian Stewart, and it currently has around 30,000 students. Let's meet the team representing them tonight.
Hello, I'm Ananya Govindarajan. I'm from Edgware in London and I'm studying engineering.
Hello, I'm Thomas Hart. I'm from a village called Miskin in South Wales Valleys and I study maths.
And their captain.
Hi, I'm Oscar Siddle. I'm from Islington in London and I'm also studying maths.
I'm Benjamin Watson. I'm from Amersham in Buckinghamshire and I'm studying PPE.
The University of East Anglia, or UEA, is making a second successive appearance in this competition this year and its 11th in total. Home to around 15,000 students, its Norwich campus is particularly noted for its architecture, which includes halls of residence by Dennis Lasdon and Norman Foster's Sainsbury Centre for Visual Arts, which fans of recent Marvel films would recognise as Avengers HQ. Benjamin Britten was once music advisor there, and alumni include the writer W.G. Sebold, the director Gurinder Chahar, and we're going to meet now the team hoping to become its first ever University Challenge champions.
Hi, my name's Nicola Willis. I'm from Lichfield in Staffordshire and I'm studying medicine.
Hi, I'm Marlo North. I'm from Dublin, Ireland, and I'm studying history.
And their captain.
Hi there, my name's Shomjit Saha. I'm from Kolkata in India and I study medicine.
Hi, I'm Kieran Shaffrey. I'm from Reading and I'm studying environmental science.
Well, welcome to you all. You're looking absolutely terrified. You feeling vaguely ready? I think you know how this works. Should we get straight into it? Fingers on buzzers then. Here is your first starter for 10. Good luck. The Palace Mosque of Masud III at Ghazni and the Great Mosque of Herat are both located in which landlocked Asian...
Warwick Siddle.
Afghanistan.
It is Afghanistan, yes, well done. Your bonuses then, Warwick, are 3 questions on the US Electoral College. The US Constitution directs that each state appoint a number of Electoral College voters equal to that state's congressional delegation. This means that the minimum number of Electoral College votes for a given state is how many?
Yeah, okay. 3.
Correct. Instead of a winner-takes-all method of apportionment, 2 states use a congressional district method that splits the Electoral College votes of that state. Name either state.
Okay. Nebraska.
Yes, Maine is the other one. What specific designation is given to a member of the Electoral College who votes for a candidate other than the one to whom they are pledged?
Faithless elector.
It is faithless elector, yes, well done. Let's start the question now. Fingers on buzzers. Allowing for slight differences in spelling, what given name links all the following? In professional wrestling, the so-called eighth wonder of the world. In music, a Dutch violinist who founded the Johann Strauss Orchestra.
Warwick Hart.
Andre.
Andre is correct, yes. 3 bonuses then on brutalist architecture in the UK. Informally known as the Banana Block because of its shape, the 1960s housing estate Cable's Wynd House is found in which Scottish city?
Big Scottish city is Motherwell, I think.
That's not a city. Where would that be?
Is it Motherwell in Glasgow?
Okay. Glasgow?
No, it's Edinburgh. It's in Leith. The retail and entertainment complex known as the Tricorn Centre was, from 1966 to its demolition in 2004, a feature of the skyline of which city on the south coast of England?
Tricorn, South Coast.
Portsmouth, Southampton, Brighton, one of those, I don't know.
Yeah, Brighton.
I like it's Portsmouth. Finally, the last structure ever designed by the engineer Over Arup, the Kingsgate Bridge, crosses the River Wear in which city in northern England?
So,
Weir.
No.
Where's the Weir?
Is that just Tyne and Wear? So, is that Newcastle? Or is it Sunderland?
Yeah, try Sunderland.
Okay, Sunderland.
No, it's Durham. Another starter question now. Used to detect the presence of lipids, what test involves first dissolving a sample in ethanol before mixing this with water? A positive result for the presence of lipids is indicated by the formation of a milky white liquid.
UEA Saha.
Benedict's test.
No. Anyone from Warwick?
Warwick Hart.
Tollens test.
No, it's the emulsion test. Let's start the question now. Christopher Nolan's 2008 film, The Dark Knight, is widely credited as the first major feature film to make significant use of what proprietary system of film...
Warwick Hart.
IMAX.
IMAX is correct, yes. Your bonuses, Warwick, are 3 questions on the revolutionary leader Tupac Amaru II. In the 1780s, Tupac Amaru II led a revolt against Spanish colonial rule that began in which modern-day country?
Peru is my instinct. Okay.
Peru.
Good instinct, yes. From 1780, Tupac Amaru besieged which former capital of the Inca Empire? The siege was unsuccessful, and he was later captured and executed.
Cusco, right?
Do you know any of the Incan capitals other than Cusco?
Was Cusco over the capital?
Yeah,
I think so.
Cusco.
Cusco is correct. Finally, and this is a quote, they say in silence, Tupac, and Tupac germinates in the dirt. This is a translation of the final line of Tupac Amaru, 1781, part of the Canto General, by which poet?
This is Neruda, isn't it?
No, it's not 1781.
No, but that's about Tupac Amaru. Like Canto General is by Neruda.
Okay. Okay, fine. Neruda.
It is Pablo Neruda, yes. Thinking about this is a picture round. For your picture starter, you're going to see a diagram that represents the location of an island country relative to its 3 nearest neighbours. For 10 points, name this island country.
UEA Willis.
Malta.
It is Malta. Well done. Yes, you're off the mark. Following on from the diagram of Malta and its nearest neighbours, which you saw for your picture starter there, for your picture bonuses, UEA, I want you to identify 3 more island countries represented similarly. Note that in some cases here, the nearest neighbours may be non-sovereign territories. First?
Something in the Caribbean too.
I don't know any of those flags.
Maybe like Trinidad or something.
No, somewhere further north than Trinidad.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Isn't that Barbados, the Trident?
Yeah, Barbados.
Yeah, Barbados, Grenada, St. Lucia. Maybe St. Vincent's.
Yeah.
St. Vincent?
Yeah.
Okay. St. Vincent?
It is St Vincent and the Grenadines. Yeah, really well worked out, yes. Secondly?
I'll say.
So it's Fiji, Solomon Islands, is that?
Fiji, Solomon Islands,
don't know.
New
Like,
Caledonia.
like Samoa
So
or
it's gonna be-
Tonga.
Yeah, Vanuatu, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Nominate Sheffrey.
Vanuatu?
Well done. Finally?
So that's somewhere like west of Africa.
Is that Cape Verde?
Yeah, it's going to be Cape. Yeah, it's going to be Cape Verde.
Cape Verde.
Well worked out. Very well worked out. Yes, well done. Let's start the question now. What noun can follow the word frozen in the name of a medical condition also known as adhesive capsulitis?
UEA Willis.
Shoulder.
Shoulder is correct, yes. Your bonuses, then, UEA, are on medical terms. Give each from the definition. All 3 begin with the same 3 letters. First, the process of filtering substances from a solution by selective diffusion through a semi-permeable membrane. This process takes place naturally in the kidneys to remove waste and toxins from the blood and may be artificially replicated to treat kidney failure.
Hyperfiltration? Or
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it hyperfiltration or is it called superfiltration?
It's not just osmosis, is it? No.
No, surely. Hyperfiltration.
Okay, hyper, yeah.
Hyperfiltration?
No, it's dialysis. Secondly, a medicine used to treat anxiety, insomnia and muscle spasms or seizures. It works by increasing the effect of gamma-aminobutyric acid in the brain, and its trade names include Valium.
So it's benzodiazepines, right?
Yes.
So just go with the second part so that it starts with the same letters.
Oh yeah,
It
so
starts
that's
DI.
so
DIA.
Diazepine.
diazepam.
Diazepam, sure.
Diazepam.
Correct, yes, well done. Finally, the phase of a heartbeat that occurs between 2 contractions of the heart, during which the heart muscles relax and the ventricles fill with blood.
Diastole.
Diastole is correct, yes, well done. Let's start the question now. A foundation of imperial power that legitimated unchecked sovereignty, what 3-word term is the usual English translation of the Chinese historical...
Warwick Hart.
Mandate of Heaven.
Well done, it is Mandate of Heaven, yes. Your bonuses, Warwick, are on world events. In each case, name the venue of the Summer Olympic Games in the years that the following events occurred. Note that the events of each list are not confined to a single year. First, William McKinley and Calvin Coolidge win US presidential elections, the former being re-elected. Remember, I want the name of the one city that hosted the Games in both those years.
Calvin could be, yes, 1900 and 1924, so yeah, it's Paris.
Paris.
Yes, that's right, 1900 and 1924. Secondly, the unsuccessful cull in Western Australia, known as the Grey Emu War. Band Aid released Do They Know It's Christmas?
So 1984 or 2, so it'll be Reagan, right?
84 is Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Yep, Los Angeles, 1932-1984. Finally, the Tunguska event in Siberia. President Truman authorises the Marshall Plan. Spain wins the UEFA European Championship for the second time in succession.
Oh, this is London.
2012, yeah. London.
Yes, 1908, 1948 and 2012. Things on buzzers. In biochemistry, what four-letter combination indicating a 5-carbon sugar begins words meaning a small body that is the site of protein synthesis in the cell and an alternative name for vitamin B?
UEA Saha.
Ribo.
Ribo is correct, yes. 3 questions for you, UEA, on rivers of Western Europe. First, a leading wine-producing region, which autonomous community of northern Spain takes its name from a tributary of the river Ebro?
Oh God. 2 tributaries. So there's Basque Country, Navarre. Which one of those is there? Maybe. I don't think it's
That second one you
Basque.
said is a river, because I know that was
Navarre, yeah.
some of the French departments are named after that as well.
How do you pronounce that?
Navarre?
Navarre. Do you want to
Just go.
nominate Shafri?
Navarre?
No, that's La Rioja. Used to refer to wines, the generic English word hock comes from the town of Hochheim. This town lies southwest of Frankfurt on the banks of which river, a tributary of the Rhine?
Mosel, maybe?
Is that a tributary of the Rhine?
Yeah, I think so. Mosel?
Nominate Shafri.
Mosel?
No, that's the river Main. Finally, Chateauneuf du Pape is a noted wine appellation in which wine-growing region, named after a major river?
Like Loire Valley.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Loire.
Loire. Just not me.
Okay. Nominate Willis.
Loire.
No, it's the Rhone. Let's start the question. Characterised by strong emotionality and heavy use of metaphor, which literary and artistic movement included the painters Arnold Böcklin, Odilon Redon?
Warwick Siddle.
Symbolism.
It is symbolism, yes, well done. Your bonuses were 3 questions on the moons of dwarf planets. Named after Hawaiian goddesses, Namaka and Hi'iaka were discovered in 2005 and are moons of which dwarf planet?
The Makemake, I think, is also named after a Hawaiian goddess, so that would make sense.
Is that a dwarf planet?
Yes.
Okay. Marke.
No, it's Haumea. Named after the Greek demon of lawlessness, Dysnomia is the only known moon of which dwarf planet?
Eris, maybe?
Eris. E-R-I.
E-R-I-S, yeah, Eris.
Eris.
Correct. Finally, named after figures from Greek mythology, Hydra, Kerberos, Styx, Nyx and Charon, all orbit which dwarf planet?
Okay. Pluto.
Correct, yes. Think about this. Starting round, and this is a music starter. For your music starter, you'll hear a piece of classical music. For 10 points, I want the name of the composer.
Warwick Hart.
Verdi.
Blimey, yes. Well done. That was the Grand March from Aida by Verdi. Your music bonuses will be 3 more pieces of march music. For 5 points, name the composer. First.
Maybe it's not just be Sousa, he's the famous march guy.
Yeah,
I don't recognise it, but he did so many. So it's just Sousa.
Caesar.
Yes. Secondly.
So I do not know.
Would you guess?
Who could it be? German?
I don't recognise this. Try Elgar. It's
Elgar.
No, it's Kenneth J. Alford. And finally.
Strauss.
Which one?
Yeah, Johann Strauss. Johann Strauss Senior.
Johann Strauss Senior.
Well done. It is Strauss, yes. Let's start the question. Fingers on buzzers. Which early 19th century fictional character does the Paris Review describe as an unabashedly mousy, pathologically virtuous protagonist who spends most of the novel creeping around the periphery of the titular park, taciturn and swallowing tears? The article describes her as Jane Austen's least popular heroine.
UEA North.
Mansfield Park.
No.
Warwick Watson.
Emma.
No, bad luck. It's Fanny Price from Mansfield Park. I needed the character Fanny Price. Things buzzers, here's another starter question. This is a quote. I understand why the music means so much to the fans and why they crave it and how relevant they are. War pigs, man. That's the story of humanity right now. These words of Carlos Acosta, the director of the Birmingham Royal Ballet, refer to which heavy metal band who are the subject...
Warwick Watson.
Black Sabbath.
It is Black Sabbath, yes. Your bonuses then, Warwick, are questions on brass band instruments. Developed in the 19th century as a valved form of the post horn, which high-pitched brass band instrument takes its name from an old French word meaning little horn? It often plays the melody in a brass band.
Cornet would be my guess, but I'm not 100%. Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, no,
Sure. Cornet.
Yes. What brass band instrument is at the same pitch as the cornet, but has a wider conical bore, giving it a fuller tone? Its name comes from the German for wing.
Could this be a flugelhorn? Is flugel the German for
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. Flugelhorn.
Yes. One of the lower instruments, which brass band instrument is often regarded as a smaller member of the tuba family? Its name derives from the Greek for good sound.
euphonium?
Yeah, euphonium.
It is euphonium, yeah. Let's start the round. Named after a Russian mathematician born in 1856, what two-word term indicates a stochastic process in which...
Warwick Hart.
Markov chain?
It is the Markov chain, yes. Your bonuses, Warwick, are 3 questions on the Swedish writer Sven Lindqvist. An inspiration for an HBO documentary series of the same name, Lindqvist's book on colonial racism and genocide, Exterminate All the Brutes, takes its title from words in which 1899 novel by Joseph Conrad?
Heart of Darkness?
House of Darkness.
Of course it was, yes. Lindqvist's travelogue, Terra Nullius, is an exploration of white settlers on the landscape and peoples of which country? In one section of the book, Lindqvist visits the Maralinga nuclear test site.
Yeah. Okay. Australia.
Yes. In 2001, Lindqvist published the English version of a book on the history of what form of warfare in which he discusses, among other things, attacks on Dresden and Guernica.
So
Oh, it's like
it's against civilians, but
bombing, like
No, but
it's fire bombing. But
Morale bombing?
it's like indiscriminate
I
warfare.
think it's
Yeah.
I think it's fire. I think they were going to want fire bombing, but I'm not because I think both of those cities were firebombed.
I think they were, yes.
Okay, firebombing.
I can't accept that answer because the book by Lindqvist was about bombing generally, aerial bombardment, and not about firebombing specifically. Here's another starter question. Plenty of time, UEA. See if you get going again with this one. Here's a quote. Which was first, the bird or the egg? Examining the problem of the priority of actual versus potential, which Greek Middle Platonist philosopher first wrote this in the Symposiacs? He is known primarily for his collected biographies, often known as the Parallel Lives.
UEA Sheffrey.
Plutarch.
It was Plutarch, yes. OK, 3 questions on mythology. In Greek myth, Deucalion and Pyrrha repopulate the earth after surviving what type of disaster inflicted on degenerate humanity by an angry Zeus?
I think this is just a flood.
I think it is a flood.
Because there's lots of flood mythologies.
Yeah.
Floods. A flood.
It is a flood. Which Titan and fire deity is the father of Deucalion? He is the subject of plays by Aeschylus and P.B. Shelley.
Is this Hyperion?
I think
Hyperion was
that
the Titan.
sounds right.
With the
Was
sun.
Prometheus not the fire deity?
No, he wasn't.
He
He's
does
the guy
bring
who
fire,
gave
but
fire
I-
to humanity,
Yeah,
but
so
that's
no.
different.
So Hyperion. Hyperion?
If you had a bat your instinct, it was Prometheus. Bad luck. Finally, what was the name of the son of Deucalion and Pyrrha? Traditionally, he is said to be the eponymous ancestor of the Greek tribes.
The son of Deucalion and Pyrrha. Greek tribe, Hellenist.
I don't know. I have the feeling I've heard of this, but just pass.
Helen.
It is Helen, yes. Well done. Let's start the question. On the same day in October 2023, a late long-range penalty in one match and a 229-run victory in another saw victories for which country over England in the men's World Cup matches in...
UEA Sheffrey.
South Africa.
South Africa is correct. Your bonus of UEA are 3 questions on pre-telescopic observatories in the Islamic world. First, born in 985, the Fatimid Caliph al-Hakim built an observatory at Mount Muqattam, near which present-day capital? The precise observations, known as the Hakimi tables, were compiled there.
I guess Islamabad is like my instinct.
Did
I was
Islamabad
going to say,
exist
I think...
back then?
Just go for it.
Islamabad.
No, it's Cairo. Significant in the development of Islamic astronomy, the observatory of Maraga was founded by a Mongol conqueror in 1259 south of Tabriz, in which present-day country?
Iran, I think, is to bring.
Iran.
Yes. In 1429, Ulugh Beg, the grandson of Timur, built a noted observatory in which historic city, now in Uzbekistan?
Samarkand, maybe, is in Uzbekistan.
Nominate Shafri.
Samarkand?
Yes. Let's start the question. What word, most likely originating in US slang for boisterous and noisy revelry, has since 1920 been used to refer to large national or international rallies of Boy Scouts?
Warwick Hart.
Jamboree.
Jamboree is correct. Your bonuses, Warwick, are on marriage proposals in the novels of Thomas Hardy. In each case, identify the novel from the quote. First, Angel to the title character. I shall soon want to marry, and being a farmer, you see I shall require for my wife a woman who knows all about the management of farms. Will you be that woman?
Tess of the D'Urbervilles is a Hardy book with a title character.
Okay. Not Jude Dibs.
No, that's
Is that Test the Devils?
Yes. Second, Thomasin to Damon, here am I asking you to marry me, when by rights you ought to be on your knees imploring me, not to refuse you, and saying it would break your heart if I did.
any Hardy books. I don't think it's a portrait of a lady.
Jude the Obscure, is it?
I don't have anything.
Okay, Jude the Obscure.
No, it's Return of the Native. Lucetta to the title character, I soon learned that you had planned to marry me out of mere charity, almost as an unpleasant duty, because I had nursed you.
Jude the Obscure.
If you keep going, it doesn't mean it's going to get right. No, it's the Mayor of Casterbridge. Bad luck. Picture round now, and for your picture starter, you'll see a still from a 2004 film. For 10 points, give me the film's title.
UEA Sheffrey.
The Aviator?
Yes. Your bonuses then, UEA. Martin Scorsese's The Aviator, which you saw for your picture starter, features Academy Award-winning costumes by the British designer Sandy Powell. Your picture bonuses are 3 more films with costumes by Powell, all of which earned her both a BAFTA and an Oscar nomination. I want you to name the film in each case. First, this 2015 film.
Oh, that's Carol.
Carol?
Yes. Secondly, this 1992 film.
Oh, that's about Mary Queen of Scots, I think, but I don't think it's called that.
Is it just Elizabeth?
Oh, yes, no, you're right, it's that, yeah.
Elizabeth.
No, it's Orlando. Finally, this 2018 film.
Oh, that's The Favourite.
The Favourite.
Yes. Let's start the question. What eponymous adjective is applied to fluids in which velocity gradient is proportional to shear stress? This excludes more complex fluid behaviours such as dilatancy and thixotropy.
Warwick Hart.
Newtonian?
It is Newtonian, yes, well done. Your bonuses, Warwick, are on island flora and fauna. In each case, identify the island from a list of species that are endemic to it. All 3 are among the 20 largest islands on Earth. First, the bay cat, the proboscis monkey, and the plant Rafflesia keithii, which has one of the largest flowers on Earth.
So in Southeast Asia, Borneo maybe?
Yeah, Borneo. Okay, Borneo.
Yes. Secondly, the prehensile-tailed hutia, the little goblin bat, and the bee hummingbird, the smallest bird species on Earth.
So we're in... I think we're in North America, so...
Hummingbirds I wouldn't associate with North
They
America.
are. Just the Americans in general, so just
Okay,
Cuba probably. Hispaniola.
Yeah, try that. I
Come on.
Cuba.
Yeah, it is Cuba, yes. Finally, the ii, the fossa, and the comet moth, one of the world's largest moths.
Madagascar.
Yes, it is Madagascar. Now let's start the question. In French history, what polity preceded the Second Empire under Napoleon III?
Warwick Hart.
The Second Republic.
It is the Second Republic, yes. Your bonuses were 3 questions on prominent people who had similar lifespans. Daphne du Maurier lived from 1907 to 1989. These are the same dates as which actor who starred as Maxime de Winter in the 1940 film adaptation of du Maurier's novel Rebecca?
Yeah, okay. Female actor about those dates. Any ideas?
Could be Simone de Beauvoir.
I have no idea.
Sorry, Eva Marie Saint.
No, it's Laurence Olivier. The actress Mary Astor lived from 1906 to 1987, the same dates as which filmmaker, director of the 1941 film The Maltese Falcon, in which Astor played the female lead Bridget O'Shaughnessy?
Who directed The Maltese Falcon?
Could be Orson Welles. Or
No. I should know this, but I don't. Sorry.
Orson Welles.
It's John Huston. The Israeli Prime Minister and Nobel laureate Menachem Begin lived from 1913 to 1992. These are the same dates as which German statesman who won the same award 7 years earlier?
I think Willy Brandt was the only German chancellor to win the Nobel Prize.
Okay, cool. Brandt.
It is Willy Brandt, yes. Just over 3 minutes to go. Winter of despair, season of darkness, epoch of incredulity, and age of foolishness are all for...
Warwick Siddle.
A Tale of Two Cities.
It is Dickens, A Tale of Two Cities, yes. Your bonuses then, Warwick, are on Ukraine. In each case, give the predominant cardinal direction in which one would travel in the shortest straight line from the first city to the second. For example, London to Bristol is west. First, for 5 points, Kiev to Odessa.
So
I think
south.
Odessa's in the south,
Yeah,
right?
south.
Yes. Second, Zaporizhia to Donetsk.
So Donetsk is in the east, and then...
So just east, I guess.
But we don't know where east
No,
is.
it's east.
Okay, east.
Yes. Finally, Kharkiv to Lviv.
So Kharkiv is...
North or west?
Okay, so it'll be west, and Lviv's in west. West.
West is correct, yes. Let's start the question. What letter of the alphabet can represent all of the following? Generations of offspring in Mendelian genetics, the tonic note of the relative major scale of D minor, the SI prefix for 10 raised...
UEA Saha.
F.
F is correct, yes. Your bonuses are 3 questions on a building. Originally built as a synagogue, the Mole Antonelliana is a landmark tower in which city? At the time construction began in 1863, it was serving as the capital of the new Italian state?
Pisa.
Milan.
Yeah, Milan makes sense. Milan.
No, that was Turin. After serving for a time as a museum of the reunification of Italy, the Mole Antonelliana now houses a national museum dedicated to which art form? In 2023, it held an exhibition celebrating Francesco Rosi.
Sculpture.
Sculpture.
No, it's cinema. Along with the Colosseum and the Castel del Monte, the Mole Antonelliana is one of 3 buildings that feature on what specific items?
Banknotes or something.
Oh, yeah, that's a good show. Yeah.
Banknotes.
Can't accept banknotes, it's coins, I'm afraid. Bad luck. Another starter question. Also meaning a rope bracing a mast or a rigid part of a corset, what short word follows chain and seat to describe parts of a bicycle frame? In a legal sense, the same word denotes the suspension of a judicial proceeding, for example, execution.
UEA Saha.
Ring.
No? Anyone from Warwick?
Warwick Hart.
Stay.
Stay is correct, yes. Your bonuses were 3 questions on polynomial equations in mathematics. In a cubic equation, all of whose coefficients are real and positive, how many real positive roots are there?
3, yeah. 3.
No, 0. This is a consequence of the rule of signs, stating that the number of positive real roots of a polynomial is bounded by the number of sign changes of its coefficients. Which mathematician stated this in his 1637 work, La Géométrie?
Oh,
1637. French, could it be Descartes?
Pascal. Oh,
Go
this is
Pascal.
going to be humiliating.
Or Fermat, maybe.
I don't think Pascal is my guess, but it's a guess at best.
Pascal.
No, it's Descartes. How many distinct real roots has the equation x cubed plus 3x squared plus 3x plus 1 equals 0?
We're gonna be
Just all plus.
So
So is it not just 0 again, or am I being stupid? We're going
Come on.
to zero the maths since it's humiliating.
3.
No, it's 1. Let's start the question. Their name derived from Norse words for a pasture. Herdwick sheep are particularly associated.
Warwick Watson.
The Lake District.
It is the Lake District, yes. Your bonuses, Warwick, are on military operations that took place on ice. In 1242, a Russian army defeated the Teutonic Knights on the frozen Lake Peipus. This battle is depicted in the climax of which film of 1938 by Sergei Eisenstein?
Nominate Hart.
Alexander Nevsky.
Yes, in a 1658 campaign, Charles Gustav took advantage of the frozen sea in his march across the Belt. And at the gun, UEA have 125 and Warwick have 275. Well played, guys. Oh, UEA, that's going to be really painful to watch on TV because there were so many starters where you knew the answer but were just a fraction late and then had to sit there as they got your bonuses. But bad luck. Who knows? 125 might be good enough to come back through the repechage. And we vaguely enjoyed the experience.
Yeah.
You got on TV, so that's the main thing. And you may get on TV again. It's really good to see you. Warwick, that was a phenomenal performance. My goodness. 275 is a mega score. You made it look easy. Did it feel easy?
Not really.
That's reassuring. Well, we'll see you again very soon. Well done. That was a tremendous performance. I hope you can join us next time for another first round match. But until then, it is goodbye from UEA.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Warwick.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.